Put a little bit of the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.
Let's get to sports talk.
Bowl ended yesterday, okay? So this is Ole Miss scoring what could have been the tying touchdown in the closing seconds. But Elijah Moore is flagged for celebrating the touchdown by pretending to urinate like a dog. This, of course, is something Odell Beckham Jr. once did. He gets the penalty. It's an unsportsmanlike penalty. It pushes the extra point back 15 yards, and they miss the extra point. Thus, they lose by that 1 point in their rivalry game. They lose because the receiver pretended to urinate like a dog in the end zone. I really don't know what to say about that, Louis Riddick. What do you want to say about it?
What I want to say, I can't say. Because I can say it once, as they say in TV. I just wouldn't get a chance to say it again. I mean, come on now. Come on. To do that kind of thing, and you know what, Acho, we said this in the pre-show meeting. I said, this is the kind of thing where I heard someone explain it, that he just lost his head and it got away from him. And your response was, no, you thought about doing this. You had planned this. And the fact that you planned this is the ultimate act of selfishness for your football team.
Let me tell you this, man. If I'm a senior and I lost my rivalry game in my last...
Like, yeah, he thought about it. But that's the object of football. When you score a touchdown, you excited because you the score. And we potentially could have win the overtime off my score. Why players can't celebrate? What did that have to do with anything with football? They just put in rules for anything. That will make the game boring if you can't celebrate. And you can't. As soon as a player celebrate, it's a flag. And it's a nonsense flag. Like, it caused the team to tie the game up. They lost the game because they seen wide receiver wanted to celebrate and taunt his team. It ain't like he went to the sideline and taunt them. He just scored a touchdown, did a celebration of their mascot and their bulldog and act like he was peeing. And you get a flag because you celebrate. These rules is getting ridiculous.
last game because of this. I'm going to see you in the locker room, and I'm going to lay hands on you and not in prayer, okay? Like, we going to have some issues if this is how I go out.
I mean, it's
Come on, man.
You can't do this.
And like,
you can't do that kind of thing.
Ever. Now, let's say the kicker, yes, make the kick, but now Elijah Moore, you can't do that, man.
Listen, I mean, it has to have been premeditated because
Of course,
I can't fathom at any moment that the spirit just takes you over and you decide, I'm just going to pretend I'm urinating like a dog. Like, that just doesn't
You
sound
never know.
natural.
You never know.
All right, now we have officially seen it all.
It is what it is.
Coming up, Jerry Jones. What did he have to say about his coach after his Cowboys got demolished yesterday? You'll hear that and more. By a threat.
See, that's why you're so damn good.
Don't get me started. El Duncan is now an angel.
How you like them apples?
Do some things you're going to regret tomorrow, but dominate the internet.
Rex?
What?
Nothing like a fat guy touchdown.
I don't know
Vita Vea.
why you're telling me that, Greeny.
Get off my lawn.
Yep, 4th and 7, they kicked the field goal. Dan.
I was okay with the decision. That's stupid, though.
That's not the sort of decisiveness I'm looking for.
Hindsight's 50-50.
This is John Gruden's honey hole.
Honey hole.
I have nothing. I would love to sit here and sound smart.
Honey hole. Both of you have been quite impressed with my ability to sling this. We can do that if you want to.
Oh, there it is.
The enthusiasm this man has for the list he has put together of Thanksgiving foods. Look who's here, Mr. Stephen A. Smith.
Did I not tell you?
Yes.
He gonna eat.
Yes.
The mac and cheese. Okay, the mac and cheese. Ain't falling off the spoon, then don't talk to me.
Okay.
He got us with the mac and cheese.
That was everything.
Oh yeah.
A lot of fun this week. I've never seen anyone more excited. We've been doing the show now for a year and change. No one has ever been more excited for an assignment than D. Wood was for the top 5 things.
I was listening to that in my car. I was driving to my mother's going, he's happy. He's happy today.
He was very happy. All right, let's go either or here. Look ahead to some of the biggest matchups of this Sunday in the National Football League. Lewis, I'm starting with you. Colts, Titans. Who you got? Tannehill or Brissett?
I'm going with Brissett. I've been a big Jacoby Brissett believer. I believe in the DNA of this football team. I believe in the DNA of Jacoby Brissett. I think they understand that this is a big football game. It's at home. I like Ryan Tannehill. I love the boost that he's given the Tennessee Titans for sure. But you've got to go with Frank Reich. You've got to go with big number 7. I think he's going to play one of his best games of the year.
That's a huge game. All right, Browns and Steelers, obviously, with a lot of things swirling around. Acho, who you got? Baker Mayfield?
It's a huge game because it's a wild card on the line for both teams. Because both teams sit at 6-5. So one of them gonna have to win to stay alive in the wild card hunt. Like, because you still got Pittsburgh that's sitting at 6-5. You still got a couple teams that's the same record as you. You got a team that's 5-6. So you got to keep up. So it's a tight race for that last spot in a wild card game.
Field of the Steelers D.
Give me the Steelers defense. Mayfield has definitely been playing well, specifically in the last game or so. But the Steelers defense are going to know that this team can only win if they put the whole team on their back. Again, they're starting Devlin Duck Hodges to put things in perspective at quarterback. The Steelers defense knows they need to show up big in a mighty way. This is a huge rivalry game. I like the Steelers defense.
And then, Graziano, you will be reporting from Patriots and Texans. So who you got, Pats D or Deshaun Watson?
I'm going to take the Patriots D. They've been holding everybody down. The history of Houston against the Patriots is a bad one. And I think, you remember the Adam Sandler movie, The Waterboy, where Henry Winkler couldn't beat the coach that he used to?
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien is like that with Bill Belichick. He's a great coach. But when he sees Belichick on the other sideline, things start to go wrong. And I think that'll happen again for Houston on Sunday
Bill
night.
O'Brien is a grown-up version of the Fonz. Finally, Lewis, here's the toughest one of the day. The Niners defense or Lamar Jackson?
And I hate everything about having to make this decision, but I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson. Why? I'll tell you why. I read an article recently that Seth Walder, the sports analytics writer for ESPN, wrote about the use of motion in Baltimore's offense.
That's going to be a tough task for the 49ers defense. They pass rush can't over pursue because Lamar's legs are dangerous, so they know they got to stay contained. Or if they don't, he's going to beat them with his legs.
And I started thinking back to my playing days and how much conflict it puts you in as far as assignments. Baltimore makes your mind explode with how much motion they use and all the different variations of the run game. And I love San Fran's defense, but I'm going to give them the slight edge because of the fact that they jam you up mentally. Yep. And if you get jammed up mentally, you're done.
So let's try and teach the fans who watch this and watch football every single week something. The 49er defense is exceptional.
Absolutely.
Are the things that make it exceptional things that we figure might give Lamar Jackson problems? Nothing has slowed him down the last month or so.
Absolutely. And first and foremost, it's this. If you watch San Francisco's defense, don't even look at the linebackers in the secondary. Just watch the line of scrimmage and watch these guys come off the ball. The line of scrimmage moves back 1 yard because they get off the ball that fast. That is how you slow down a running football team, is when the offensive linemen are back in the quarterback's lap and all of a sudden everything's not so clear. They can muddy things up for you. Now, from there, look, Lamar, though, is a freak. Yep. Obviously, he's the ultimate equalizer. He'll be like, hey, you know what? I'll do you one better. I'm just going to hit the B button, spin out of here, and I'm just going to run over here and do some stuff that you've never seen before, and that's a problem.
Like, their defense was going to determine this game. Can they stop Lamar in the offense so they could get their offense opportunities to win this game? Because with the Ravens running attack, it runs the clock out. Can they defense contain Lamar Jackson and Ingram and slow them down and make them one dimension so they can be able to win this game? It's going to be a tough outing for them.
But with San Francisco, and I'll tell you this, keep an eye on this guy, number 93, DJ Jones. He's the guy who people don't talk about on this defensive line, and he's constantly putting his shoulder pads in people's chest and slamming people to the turf. They need him to play a big game. They need the rest of the defensive line to come through. We'll see.
You talk about, educating the viewer. You have to realize at practice, you really have 2 grind days a week. It's typically Wednesday, Thursday. That's really when you get it in. When you're going against the Ravens, it's a team you haven't seen all season, a team that your roster can't actually allow you to practice against because you don't have the body. So what this means is if you're playing linebacker, which I played, you can practice your run fits for about 30 minutes a day. That's really all you got because you got to work on teams, etc. You can't actually practice against what you see in Lamar Jackson, not even talking about the speed, not talking about the talent. Lou talked about it in the pre-show meeting. You can't even work on the schematics of it, so then you get out there and it's something you've never even seen before.
What do you think, Dan, as we look ahead to this matchup, the 49ers in an unprecedentedly tough stretch against Green Bay now then they have another huge game standing by with New Orleans right after that.
They've been pushing people around like the Ravens have. They go in and they dictate how the game is going to go. We saw that against Green Bay last week. Fascinating to see which side it is, because you have two head coaching candidates. You have Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator at San Francisco, Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator in Baltimore. These are guys you're going to hear about getting head coach interviews.
Because they're going to be hot on everybody's radar, because what the San Francisco defensive coordinator could bring to another organization is he can make the team defense better. Whoever get him that coaching job, like, you know what defense he could bring and potentially make his team a solid defensive team. With offensive coordinator for the Ravens, the offense he's doing here, the job he could bring to a team that's looking for an offense on their side. Like, he could be a good head coaching job for them to whatever team that give him a job, that he can know that he can make the offense better. Because the job he's doing for Baltimore is the job he can do when he get a head coaching job. Whoever it is, they can change the organization, because what they doing for their teams now.
Next month, or in January, and if one of them dominates the other on Sunday, that only helps their case.
That's one of the early games on the schedule. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Greeny, we need you to pick every game on the Sunday schedule lickety-split. Well, let's do just that. Packers, Giants. Aaron Rodgers has been struggling. This matchup is exactly what the doctor ordered. New York's defense stinks. Give me Green Bay, 70-17. Skins, Panthers, Washington. What a game, and I still have no idea how. It won't happen again. I'll take the Fighting McCaffreys, 30-3. Niners, Ravens. Why is this at 1 o'clock? No matter. Lamar Jackson is on the kind of roll that transcends time. Baltimore Birds, 23-16. Titans, Colts. Quietly, Ryan Tannehill is one of the best stories of the season, but Jacoby Brissett has more talent around him. Colts, well rested. They'll be the 6th seed. Indy, 20-17. Eagles, Dolphins, Carson Wentz. What the actual heck? All those millions are supposed to pay off against New England and Seattle. They better against Miami, or this season is over and changes are coming. Eagles fly in Florida, but it won't be easy. 24-20. Raiders, Chiefs. After being blown away by slinging Sammy Darnold, Oakland gets the comparative breather against Patrick Mahomes. Okay, I'm kidding. Tough spot Raiders. No chance in KC. Chiefs 37-21. Bucks, Jags. I miss Gardner Minshew. I just felt like saying that. Tampa 27-20. Jets, Bengals. During the Jets' 3-game win streak, Sam Darnold has 7 touchdowns and 1 pick. He's not good. He's great. Jets win their 4th straight. 34-16.
With that Raiders and Chiefs game, that's a big game as well, because the Chiefs sitting at 7-4, and Oakland is sitting at 6-5. So if they could beat the Chiefs, they could tie the division up. Like, they both be the number 1 seed in a division. So if Oakland beat them, that's a big game.
Rams, Cardinals. Which team's future would you rather have? Me too. Kyler Murray is the best quarterback in this game, and it isn't close. Arizona, 27-14. Chargers, Broncos. Terrible game. But if this is the end of the Phillip Rivers era, it's worth a peek. Feels like Denver has packed it in. I like the Chargers by a field goal. Browns, Steelers, with both benches warned before the first pitch. I expect no fisticuffs and a statement win for Cleveland. Browns are the better team. They're making a run. 28-12. Finally, Pats, Texans, playoff preview. You know I love Deshaun Watson, but I can't see the former Patriot OC outsmarting his old boss Belichick. New England finds a way, again, 23-22. Looks like it's going to be a very interesting weekend ahead. Anything jump out at you in there? The Pats? What jumps out at you?
No, I'm with you right there. I'm with you on just about all of those. The Pats are just going to be one of those teams that just kind of outthink you. And they just kind of grind you down as the game goes on. And as far as that Ravens 49ers game, I mean, that literally, I could sit there and argue myself to death, back and forth.
It's in that early
how
window.
is that game at 1 o'clock?
It would have been nice if they flexed it. Meanwhile, we